What is up, everybody? My name is Jeff Lightsy Jr. here with the Black Boss channel. Today we're going to be talking about in victory formation, by the way. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and the notification bell because we upload every single day. Today we are going to be talking about Channing Crowder and his new show, The Pivot, with Fred Taylor and Ryan Clark, and they discussed a guy that we love to talk about on the show, that man by the name of Deion Sanders. Of course, they talked about HBCU football and Deion Sanders pulling in the #1 recruit in the country in Travis Hunter. Be sure to leave your comments in the chat. We are live right now. Let's go. What up, people? What up? You can subscribe to my YouTube channel too, by the way. It's Jeff Lightsy Jr. on YouTube. That is Jeff Lightsy Jr. on YouTube. So, during their conversation, it's about 45-minute long, maybe an hour-long conversation between Ryan Clark, 48 minutes and 54 seconds to be, by the way. Ryan Clark, Channing Crowder, and what's his name? Fred Taylor. They all spoke about Channing's comments he made on their former show, I Am Athlete, when Deion Sanders went on there, and even before Prime went on there. Channing was very adamant because Channing is a football player. Channing went to Florida, and Channing is very adamant about the fact that you can't get the facilities, the help, the team coaches, the doctors, etc., at a Jackson State or at a FAMU or at a Howard, Hampton, etc., that you can get at the University of Florida. And to a certain extent, there is a lot of truth to that. Like, the HBCUs aren't on the same playing field as the PWIs, but the HBCUs bring a lot of things that PWIs just simply can't offer. Like 50,000 fans in the stands that look like me and you, look like grandmama and them, mama and them, auntie and them, all of that. You can't offer that. They can't bring you that loving community. They can't bring you coaches that can relate to you, a head coach that can relate to you, administrators that can relate to you, etc. And so I'm going to play a clip from when Prime was on I Am Athlete. Now, this is fair use, copyright. Don't strike me down. This is for educational purposes. So fair use. I'm not trying to steal, I Am Athlete's stuff. So I'm just trying to put that out there. First, let me go back to when Prime was first talking. So this is Channing asking Prime about going to Jackson State, about, what his experience was like at Florida versus what it would be like at Jackson State. So this is fair use. Hopefully, I don't get a copyright strike, but this is what's going on. So if I stop periodically, it's because of that. But let's take a listen.
I'm just talking about, and then on a Saturday at a game at Florida, you got 90,000+ people watching. True. You got NFL scouts at every single game. You even tweeted that this year 256 players were drafted and not one from HBCU. Right.
Now, let's stop right there. There are 90,000 people in the stands at Florida, right? There's 90,000. We've talked about this on this channel, right? But how many of those people look like the players on the field? Like, there's the players on the field, and then there's the people in the stands. But 80 to 85 to 90% of the people in the stands don't look like the guys on the field, right? And we've heard the stories about what these people say to these players. Win or lose, you can be a part of the team, like on the team. We've literally heard fans of the team, so-called fans of the team, and what they've said to young college athletes if their team loses or if they don't perform the way they should. They say they don't just keep it on the football field. They make it real personal, right? They make it real personal about, like, what they said to Justin Fields. You guys remember what the Georgia guy, the baseball player, said to Justin Fields? Real racist. Justin Fields was a 5-star quarterback at Georgia, supposed to be the heir apparent, would have probably took them and won a national championship, but he transferred, one, because they weren't using him correctly, and two, because there was a lot of racism being aimed towards him by another fellow athlete. So let's not act like that doesn't take place. Let's continue on.
I don't like that stat.
I'm changing all that.
But I understand that stat, Prime, because y'all cannot compete with the teams that have so much resources. Those Power 5, Prime, you cannot compete with the Power 5.
So how do you compete with them?
Now this is
I don't think you can.
this is key. Listen to what Deion says, because why is it that the things are the way that they are? Why is it? It's because the black players stopped going to the HBCUs when integration took place. I've always talked about this. When integration took place, the black players stopped going to the Gramblin's and the Mississippi Valleys and the Jackson States and et cetera, and they started going to the Floridas and Florida States and Georgias and Alabamas. Before that, the black players, they couldn't go anywhere else. They had to go to the HBCUs. But this is how you change it. And listen to Coach Prime, because he makes perfect sense.
Bringing a conduit for change. You bringing a conduit for change. Everything starts with the mind. First, let's attack the mind and understand how can we level the playing field. First of all, I don't want to level nothing. I want to have the advantage. I want to have the advantage. Now, you mean to tell me that this brother here coming out of the heart of Miami is better suited to go somewhere like that than come to me?
Yes.
When
Why?
I speak his language, when I know his voice, when I know his needs and I know his wants, and I set right where he set. How is that? So now you into the glamour.
Boom. Oh my God, he couldn't said it any better. I speak his language. I know what he wants to do. I was there. I literally lived the life that you want to live. Deion Sanders literally lived the life what all of these guys want to live. He played in the NFL at the highest level. He won Super Bowls. He went to Pro Bowls. He's all pro. Why would you be better going to play for Billy Bob, who can barely throw a football? Now, I'm not saying that coaches who didn't play in the league or play college football or whatever can't be good coaches. They can't be. But are you better suited going to them as opposed to going to Prime? Let's continue.
So if you into the glamour and the glitz, I want you to go over there where you want to go. But if you into the real, if you into the genuine, if you into let's build this thing and let's get up out of this mess and never look back, hey, you need to ride with me.
But a lot of us, where he came from, and
I mean, you can't say it any better than that. You honestly, you cannot say it any better than that, because it's the truth. It's the truth. Now this is big. I don't know why that just went away. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, guys, because we're talking. We're in this really heavy. You guys are doing a good job with the comments. I'm gonna pull some of your comments, but yeah, like I don't know why it went away. But Brandon hits a good point right here. He says something really good right here when it comes to where you come from and where you're trying to go.
come from nothing. So you go to Florida, you go to Florida State, you go to Florida. Man, this is a one-way ticket to the NFL.
It seems as though.
And that's not true either. Like, let's dispel the fact that you're gonna get a one-way ticket to go to the NFL just because you go to Florida, Alabama, whatever. That's not true. Like that's just not true. And first of all, a lot of those guys end up flaming out way before they ever get to the NFL, whether it's transferring somewhere, they don't finish there, or even if they get drafted to the league, they're not even that good. A lot of those guys aren't even that good. Half the NFL's undrafted. I just saw a guy score a touchdown in the NFL for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers who never even played college football. You get these basketball guys that come in that never played football. The guy that scored for the Buccaneers, I think his name was Wilson. He ran track at LSU. So that is not true either. We have to dispel that and quit telling people, oh, you gonna go to Florida? That means you're going to the league. That means you ain't gonna have a chance to go to the league if you go to Grambling or Mississippi Valley. That's not true. So once we get rid of that too, that helps a ton. But let's continue.
But it wasn't a one-way ticket until we made it that way. Florida wasn't birthing people left. Them cats start rolling through there like that. They made the way. Florida State, shoot, we wasn't a program like it is. The Prime got there. You know, all these other cats, the UM wasn't like that until Mel B and all them got there. So it took a group of us
Absolutely.
to provoke change. Why can't we be the change for us?
Oh my God. See, and that's it. That's it. Why can't we be the change for us? See, the thing with black people a lot of times, like, can we be real right now? Let me get Brandon them off the screen right now, and then I'm gonna show you where Channing apologized. We're gonna get to that, but I just had to play that because Prime is 1,000% right. And I said this when Travis Hunter decided to go to Jackson State as well. People get weird when black people start doing for black people. When black people want to help black people, or black people want to get on the same team and not fight each other, shoot each other up with guns and promote dumb stuff where we killing each other and degrading our women and doing all this kind of silly stuff, white folks and even some black folks get really weird. Like, you start acting weird. And Prime said it perfect. He said, we've been making these institutions, Florida State, Florida, all these other places, we're making them billions upon billions of dollars every single year. And it's all of a sudden when the 4 stars want to go play for the black coach at the black school in front of the black people, now we want to act like, oh, that's a problem. What the hell's the problem with that? Where's the problem? Or just like our slogan, the slogan we say at the Black Boss Channel, shout out to Dr. Boyce Watkins. I don't know who created it, but our slogan is B1. That means black first. That means, before I am a Democrat or a Republican or a football player or a basketball player or a journalist or whatever, YouTuber or whatever, I'm black. I'm black and I'm going to take care of my people. Now, obviously, we got some, people that don't care about our folks or don't care about what we do or whatever, but the majority of us do. And the majority of us should care about our people first. Every other group does it. You see Asian coalitions and, Latinx coalitions and, obviously there's white supremacy out there, but we should care about us first. And so as soon as black folks start teaming up, it's like folks look at you weird. Even black folks look at you weird like, whoa, what them black folks doing over there? Whoa, what you going over there helping them niggers for? You need to go to a white man school. You go to the white man institution and go help out the white man. Man, hell no. Because literally, the only difference, and Prime ends up saying, and I cut it off, but the only difference between the University of Florida and Jackson State is the money. It's literally the only difference. Like Prime said, if you want to go to college and play ball for the glitz and glamour, then yeah, Jackson State ain't for you. You can go to Florida State, Georgia, Alabama, whatever. But if you want to come ball, learn from the best, play with the best, have a good time, and a good college experience that you can't get at those other universities, come on to Jackson State. Come on to Jackson State. It says in that episode, I really didn't get where Channing's whole thing, because Channing, like a lot of black folks, is brainwashed. He think, he admits it, and he's still kind of brainwashed. Let's not get it twisted. He kind of backtracks a bit, but he's still brainwashed. A lot of black folks are brainwashed. I hear Dr. Watkins say it all the time. He says some of the biggest white supremacists are black folks. Some of the biggest white supremacists are black folks, and a lot of times that is the same in college football as well. Because you think the white ice is colder, and everything white is better. That's not true. It's simply not true. Like, why wouldn't a player like Travis Hunter, the number 1 cornerback in the country, want to go learn from the number 1 cornerback in the history of football? Like, why wouldn't you want to go do that? Now, a lot of people, you can be a really good player, right? You can be a really good cornerback, but you're just not naturally gifted like a Deion was or like a Travis Hunter is. But Travis Hunter has no natural gifts. So you combine the natural gifts with the hell of a work ethic, a superb work ethic, and the proper coaching from a guy who's done every single thing that you want to do. And Travis Hunter has half the career of Deion Sanders, both NFL and college football. He'll be a Hall of Famer. He'll be an amazing football player. If he has half, that's just half. He has half the career Deion Sanders did at both the college and NFL level. He would be a Hall of Famer. Deion, I want to say, is like an 8 or 9 time Pro Bowler. So say Travis cut 9 in half, it's 5. Deion was 8 or 9 time All Pro. Cut that in half, that's say 5 or 4 All Pros. Deion won 2 Super Bowls. Let's cut that in half and win a Super Bowl. Deion won a Defensive Player of the Year and a Jim Thorpe Award. Let's give him one of them. Let's say he wins the Defensive Player of the Year. He's in the Hall of Fame. And I'm not even talking about baseball. Deion hit 500 in the World Series. So what am I missing? What am I missing? I'm missing something. It's got to be something, right? Please, in the chat, I'm reading your comments. Let me know. Let me know if I'm missing something. Let me know if I am missing something. Because, like I said, a lot of black people, when you start talking black first and togetherness and not this foolishness, more like more of the political lines, but it applies to HBCU and college sports as well, too. Not more of the symbolism. You start asking for tangibles. See, Travis Hunter's a tangible. He's not a property. He's not a piece of property. But to a lot of these universities, he's a piece of property because he's someone, a conduit for money. When they see Travis Hunter and they see the stars beside him and they cut on his tape, he's a dollar sign. He's a dollar sign of Florida State. Hell, he's a dollar sign of Jackson State. He is a commodity because what he can do is bring you revenue. He can increase the revenue of your organization, whether it's Florida State, Jackson State, Georgia, whatever, because of his talents. He has a talent, a superb talent that people will pay top dollar to come watch that talent. Just watch the cameras and everything that'll flock to Jackson this fall. Well, it's going to take place this fall. Jackson State is going to be, I've said this once, I'm going to keep saying it until, we actually get the tangibles to prove. Jackson State is going to be the most covered HBCU football team in the history of HBCU sports, period. Jackson State will have more media cameras, more media attention, more ads for press passes and credentials, more credential requests, more everything than any program in the history of HBCU football. Why? Not only because they might have had that last year, but it's going to double this year. Why? Not because Deion Sanders was there last year. It's because Travis Hunter's going there and whoever else comes with them. Because more guys are, they keep telling us more guys are coming. We have to wait and see, but more guys are coming with them. They're going to be the most covered football team in the history of HBCU sports. Maybe in the history of FCS. Let's just put the whole FCS out there. I don't know if any FCS program will have more media attention than Jackson State will in the fall of 2022. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, guys. We're in here really heavy. So now I'm going to play Channing's half-hearted apology. It was kind of half-hearted. I understand what he was trying to do. He was trying to apologize, but it still came out kind of half-hearted. Let's take a listen. This is on the new show called The Pivot. This is Channing Crowder, Ryan Clark from ESPN and from Pittsburgh Steelers, and Fred Taylor on their new show, their new podcast. Channing and Fred have left I Am Athlete, and now they're on this new show called The Pivot. So let's take a listen to what they had to say.
He wasn't going to be able to compete with the Power 5 schools. It wasn't me. I ain't say it. So how do you feel now? Do you feel wrong? Do you feel as wrong as you are?
I'll tell y'all this. I want to apologize because I said that. I did, and it was very strong. I said there's not going to be a top recruit that chooses a HBCU over a Power 5 school.
Right.
And I want to apologize to Deion because he did pull him. As Deion, he did pull Travis Hunter to a HBCU.
So
that's all we wanted to hear, Channing. I'm glad. Hey, shout out to Channing Crowder for being a man about it, for apologizing, because he should. Because the thing is, a lot of times when people are wrong, and I've been wrong before, and I've had to, issue apologies or whatever. When people are wrong, first, you need to be as loud as you are wrong than when you was making that wrong statement. See, when Channing was so adamant about no top recruits would go to an HBCU, he was super adamant about why in the hell would a top recruit ever choose an HBCU? That doesn't even make any sense. Like, he was real loud with that. Like, really, really loud with that. And so I'm glad that he wasn't as loud, but I'm glad he is going on a public platform and apologizing for being wrong, just like he did on a public platform talking about how no top recruit should choose an HBCU, no top recruit would choose an HBCU, no top recruit. And his only argument between guys not going to Jackson State versus guys going to his alma mater like a Florida or something is you get better training, you get better facilities, you get better dorms, you get more meals, you get this. It's a lot of glitz and glamour. It's a lot of cute stuff, which a lot of kids, want the cute stuff. And there's nothing wrong with wanting that sometimes. But we're talking about football, bro. You're not going to get better coaching. Not going to get better coaching. You're not going to have a tighter bond with your teammates. You're not going to have a tighter bond with the community. You're not going to have a tighter bond with the fan base. Hell, half the kids at Power 5s transfer. Even the good ones. The good ones transfer. I just seen today that Caleb Williams, the starting quarterback who took Spencer Rattler's job. So Spencer Rattler was a Big 12 winning quarterback at Oklahoma, got his job taken by Caleb Williams. Spencer Rattler transferred. Caleb Williams won the job, and now he's transferring. So, like, you're not that tight with the community. Everybody just transferring everywhere. I mean, so, like, you're not getting a better education. I dare you say you get a better education at a PWI than you do at an HBCU. I dare you. I dare you say some stupid stuff like that. Everybody's Kamala Harris lovers. She's the vice president of the United States. Where'd she go? Everybody loves Stacey Abrams. Where'd she go? Everybody loved this Warnock. Shout out to 06 to the good bros. Where'd he go? Warnock down there in Georgia. Where'd he go? Keisha Lance Bottoms, the former mayor of Atlanta. Where'd she go? So I dare you say you get a better education. I dare you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm just trying to figure out. Let's continue, because there's the apology, but it's kind of a backhanded apology. Let's listen to what he had to say.
Is there a butt coming?
Yeah, there goes the butt.
I do have a but.
There it is.
I just don't know if Deion is going to be there for Travis Hunter to graduate.
This is everybody's favorite. This is everybody's favorite thing to go to. I don't know if Deion's going to stay. So here's the thing, because I mean, there's some legitimacy to that. And the reason why it's legitimacy to that, because everybody believes going to the Power 5 schools is a better opportunity, even for coaches. It's not just for players, it's for coaches as well. Is a better opportunity, a better opportunity to go there so you can try to win a national championship, play in the college football playoff, etc., etc. See, and for a lot of people, that is true. For a whole lot of people, that is very, very true. For a lot of, if you started off at, Alabama A&M, and you did really, really well at Alabama A&M, and, you know what I'm saying, and, I ain't gonna say Alabama, Ole Miss or somebody called you to, a lot of these head coaches at HBCUs be taking assistant jobs at Power 5 schools. So they called you to come be their running backs coach or something. A lot of people jump on that opportunity. And for a lot of folks, that is true. A lot of folks, that is a better opportunity for them. One, the main reason, it's not even has to do with the institutions. The main reason is the jump in salary. So like assistant coaches at some of these Power 5 schools make like double and triple what the head coaches make at an HBCU. Let's keep it a bean. Let's keep it all the way 100. Assistant coaches, like position coaches, be making more. Not just assistant coaches, like position coaches make more at some of the Power 5 schools, especially those SEC schools. Like the budgets that the SEC schools have, the LSUs and the Alabamas and the Ole Misses and the Mississippis, their assistant coach budget is higher than like the head coach at Alabama A&M, or more money than what Deion makes being the head coach at Jackson State. See, Deion actually takes a pay cut. He literally takes a pay cut to be the head coach at Jackson State, as opposed to if he just ran his businesses, been the spokesperson for Aflac and Gillette and, doing the stuff with Barstool. He takes a pay cut by being there. But see, that's the beauty behind Prime, because Prime and a guy like Hugh Jackson, they've made all their money. Prime is not broke and is far from being broke and is never going broke, ever. He's smart with his money. He has smart business people around him. He ain't going broke. So money isn't an issue for Deion Sanders. Money for some coaches is an issue. They want to go get that big paycheck. See, Deion got his big paycheck when he's playing. He got his big check when he's playing. Then he did another 15 years of broadcasting, where he was like the top dog over there at NFL Network. So he's not chasing a bag. A lot of coaches are chasing a bag. Deion's not. Same with Hugh Jackson. Hugh Jackson's in his 60s. He's done 30 years of between college and pro coaching, including being a head coach of 2 NFL organizations. He's not chasing a bag. They're not chasing money. And that's what a lot of these coaches are. And so when Channing brings up the issue, I don't know how long Deion's going to be there, it's because in most cases, and Deion's human and he could leave tomorrow and I could end up looking silly. But in this case, he's not chasing a bag. And 2, he has 2 sons that are on the team that have to be there at least. And I think both of those guys are 4-year guys. They're not going to be like Eddie George too. Shout out to GS Everything. Eddie George as well. Eddie George, they're not chasing money. These dudes are literally taking pay cuts to be at their schools. And so I don't think Deion even sniffs at another job until his sons leave, whether it's through the draft, graduation, whatever. I don't think so. I think you got to legit 2, at least 3 years before Deion leaves. At least 3 years before he leaves. And Deion continues to use religion. Coach Prime uses religion a lot. And he's almost telling his story of Jackson State and telling the story of the modern day Jackson State as if it's prophecy almost. As if it's almost like a prophecy. And so if you're living out a prophecy and you want to dominate, just like you did on the field, and we got to think that man dominated at a very, very high level, and you want to dominate this coaching thing like you dominated on the field, then this is a process. This is something that's going to take some time. You didn't become Deion Sanders with 1 or 2, even 3 years. You became Deion Sanders prime time, the top cornerback in the history of the NFL over the course of a 14, 15-year career. How long did Deion play in the NFL? You might tell me really quick. How many years did Coach Prime play in the NFL? He played in the NFL for, let me see if I can look it up real quick. He played in the NFL from 89 to 2005. From 89 to 2005. What's that? It's like 16 years. It's like 16 years. The man played in the NFL. So if you're going to dominate and you want to attack this thing like you attacked playing in the league, it took you 16 years to become the Deion Sanders, the greatest cornerback we've ever seen. Well, you can't become one of the greatest in 2 to 3 years at Jackson State. I mean, if we're just taking the man for his, by his word. The man said he wanted to be dominant at Jackson State, dominate this coaching thing at Jackson State. Said he was called by God to be at Jackson State. So, you know what I'm saying? And then somebody says his daughter, so has she committed? I knew she had an offer from Jackson State. Shout out to Karoon. Shout out to Hickman. He said his daughter's coming to Jackson State as well. I knew she had an offer from Jackson State. She's so Deion Sanders' high school daughter. She's in high school. She's a basketball player. I knew she had an offer from Jackson State, which Jackson State women's basketball team is really, really good. They're SWAC champs. I don't know if she's committed or not, but the chances are she probably goes there. So we have 3 kids at Jackson State. You think he's gonna leave his babies? I don't think he's gonna leave his babies. Let's listen to what Ryan has to say.
Right. Well, I think Shiloh. So Durham was a freshman. He got at least 2 years. I don't think he leaves before his kids.
Absolutely.
How was that?
I don't think he make. The only way he leaves if his kids are there, if his kids go with him. But it doesn't mean that you can go to Tennessee, you can go to Texas.
And I don't see that. I don't see his kids I don't see any of them leaving. I mean, that's just me. Not no time soon. Now, 5-6 years from now, maybe we could talk. But if you want to dominate this thing like you said you want to, this is going to take a while. This is going to take a while. And let's not act like Jackson State. Jackson State got a lot of names. They had a lot of names in the 21 season. They have a lot of names in the 22 season. The SWAC is going to be a beast. Let me know your thoughts in the chat. Please tell me who you think the best team in the SWAC is going to be, because I don't know if it's going to be Jackson State. Jackson State got the most names. Jackson State get the most headlines. But FAMU's coming with some dogs. FAMU went 9-3, and that wasn't by accident. Hugh Jackson, he's building a program down there at Grambling. So, I mean, am I tweaking? You know what I'm saying? Jackson State, it's going to be stiff competition in the SWAC. It ain't just going to be no walk in the park in the SWAC. And he still gets a retirement check from the NFL. I mean, Deion is not pressed. Deion, Eddie George, Hugh Jackson, they're not pressed about a check. They're not pressed about getting 5, 6, 7 million from a university. They made their millions already. They literally made their millions already. That's why I was so disappointed. And because the SWAC is turning up like this, you get a Hugh Jackson. You see what Willie Simmons is doing over at FAMU. You see what Coach Prime is doing at Jackson State. I was so disappointed in the hire made by Prairie View today. Prairie View hired Bubba McDowell as their head coach. And this is no offense to Bubba McDowell, because Bubba McDowell also played in the NFL. Bubba McDowell also was a all-pro in the NFL at cornerback. I think one season he had like 5 or 6 interceptions, a couple of touchdowns on the defensive side. So, Bubba McDowell was no slouch. But Bubba McDowell has been there this entire time. Like, Bubba McDowell has been on the Prairie View staff in the last 10 or 11 years, from what I understand. So this is not a splash hire. Now, that's to not say he can't go there and be very, very successful. But there was some splash hire type candidates out there. Like, there was some, from the rumors that I heard, there were some splash hire type candidates because Coach Prime is a conduit for change, and other guys want to get in on this thing. We just seen Hugh Jackson. Eddie George referenced Deion. There's rumors Marshall Faulk's trying to get in somewhere. He was a name floating around the Southern job. Ed Reed was floating around the Grambling State job. Ray Lewis' name was floating around HBCU circles. So there were some splash type candidates out there that I wanted Prairie View, which is, a rock throwing distance from Houston. Somebody corrected me. I said, oh, Prairie View's in Houston. No, Prairie View's in Prairie View, but it's very close to Houston. Shout out to y'all. And I wanted them to do a splash type hire, and they didn't do it. So I was disappointed in Prairie View, but I wish Bubba McDowell nothing but success. But his hire isn't sexy. It's not a sexy hire like a Hugh Jackson, like a Ed Reed would have been, like a Marshall Faulk would have been, like a Deion Sanders was. So, yeah, Ed Reed told Grambling no. Yeah, Ed Reed told them no, but his name was floating around the job, and he strongly considered it. I guarantee you, if this was if Manny Diaz, if Manny Diaz wouldn't have been fired, and if they went out and got Cristobal, Ed Reed would be the head coach of Grambling, and Hugh might have been the head coach of Prairie View. Like if Manny Diaz wouldn't have got fired and they went and got Mario Cristobal, and so there's a change at Miami. That's why Ed Reed didn't take the Grambling job. So I was kind of disappointed in that hire by Prairie View. Hit the thumbs up button, guys. We're in here really, really heavy. Let's continue to listen to what Channing has to say. Channing, Ryan Clark, Fred Taylor talking about Deion Sanders. He apologized, but now he's backtracking a little bit on why he wouldn't send his son or why he wouldn't go to an HBCU over like a Florida, the school he went to, or any other Power 5 PWI.
Go to Florida State and say that Shadur's going to be the starting quarterback.
Florida State is the first one because Norvell at Florida State is not being successful.
Okay.
So they fired Norvell and they offered Deion. Is he going to stay? And we can't answer that question. And when we talked to Deion in the past, Deion wouldn't answer that question.
Right.
But these are my concerns with Hunter going to Jackson State. This is my only thing. And I always, bro, I want the HBCUs to do great. I
love everybody says, I want them to do great, but, well, if you want them to do great, then do everything in your power to help them do great. Continue to mention them on your show. That's helping. Continue to, do support and do all kind. Now, I'm not saying Channing's not doing that kind of stuff in the background, but if you want them to do great, speak life into them. My girl always talks about manifesting. Well, you got to manifest things. Coach Prime seems like he's a manifest type of guy. Taking the Jackson State game taking the Jackson State job is somewhat of a manifestation. Saying what you want to do at Jackson State, how you want to dominate the SWAC and dominate HBCU sports and dominate at the Celebration Bowls. It's sort of like a manifestation. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to do that, help them out in that way. Use your brand. Use the Pivot brand or the House of Athlete or I Am Athlete or whatever. So let's you know what I'm saying? Let's get to it. Yeah, let's get to it. Let's continue listening.
I want the HBCUs
but like when Travis Hunter did the whole thing of taking this.
Listen to this. This is big.
Did you hear how excited people were when he landed on Jackson State? Though?
Yes, and that was a single day.
Here he goes.
It was a single.
Okay, here goes Channing. Here goes Channing hating again. This is Channing. This is his version of hating. Now, let me see if I can show you guys this, because Channing, everything comes with a but with Channing. Everything comes, it was a single day event. Everybody's excited, but that was just for one day. Here comes the kind of he's hating a little bit.
Day situation. Now he has to go every single day for at least 3 years now, because that's the rule. He has to be in college for 3 years, every day, to this facility, to this medical staff, to this organization, to this coaching staff, to this training table, to these dorms. And that's my issue, is that I don't think those schools can live up to me as a Florida guy being those schools.
So you talking about
Oh my God. Oh my God. Channing, what the? Oh my God. This makes me want to throw up. Like, first of all, let's talk about Florida. Let's talk about Florida. Florida just fired their coach. So all of them training tables and coaching staff and all that stuff, obviously that wasn't good enough because their coach just got the hell up out through. Dan Mullen just got fired. They just hired a guy from Louisiana, Lafayette or somewhere. I don't even know where he's from. Billy Napier is his name. So they just hired Billy Napier. So all of that stuff you just named obviously wasn't even good enough for them because they fired their coach. And before him, the last coach also did what? Got fired. like this is a trend. And then the coach for that, one of them's Urban Meyer. He left because he was a lot of crazy stuff was happening in Florida. You know what I'm saying? And his brain was messed up. He was having these brain aneurysms or whatever was going on. So all of that stuff you're talking about, obviously, isn't all glitz and all that glitz and glamour. It obviously ain't working all the way because Florida's firing coaches left and right. Beast for Life says Channing is a gatekeeper voice. I don't go that far, but he sounds a little bit like that. He sounds a little bit like that because the thing about Travis and the thing about these kids and the thing about, what was going on is Travis understand. Like the thing about Travis and that's why I pray for his success every single night. I pray for Travis Hunter's success every single night because Travis has been to Florida. He's been to Florida State and Georgia and Alabama and all these different universities with all those same training tables and dorms and all that good stuff Channing's talking about. And then he went to Jackson State. And then he went there during the Alcorn game when they had 50,000 people in the stands. And then he saw it. And he saw the training staff, and he got to know the players, and he got to know the coaches, and he probably got to meet a couple of fans, and he listened to the sonic boom of the South play during the halftime, play during the game, and he probably was like, yeah, this is it. Yeah, this is it. But of course, he had to go home and think about it, and marinate with it, and talk to his parents about it, and do all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But when he was there living there in the moment, he was like, yo, this is it. This is it. I understand I'm going to get backlash. And I need to talk with my mom, my guardian, my dad, or whoever about what's taking place. But this is it. Like, this is where I want to be. I want to listen to the people that talk like me. I want to see the people that look like me in the stands. I want to do this. I want to play for a coach that understands me and the coach that's done every single thing that I want to do. Not a coach that's coached players that's done every single thing that I'm trying to do. A coach that's actually lived that life. Come from the slums like me and made it out and made it to the very top just like I want to make it. And I have similar athletic ability just like Prime. Like, I want to do that. So you can't take that into account when it comes to training table and dorms and all that shit. Like, all of that don't matter. What matters is the feeling you get when you walk in the vet and it's 50,000 people screaming your name, rooting for you, not yelling racist shit at you, not telling you to go back to Africa, you know what I'm saying, or putting nooses in your whatever, or sending you death threats on social media, or having message boards call your mom and do all. You ain't getting that at Jackson State. You ain't getting that at Grambling. The fans are gonna be mad. They'll be pissed off. You get YouTube commentators like myself saying, you should have had a better game, etc., etc. But we ain't gonna make it personal. We gonna keep it on the field. Am I lying? We gonna keep it on the field. All my critique and criticism about any player ever has all been about on the field. Now, if you were shucking and jiving and acting like a coon off the field, that's on you. And I might be like, we don't listen to this dude because, he shucks and jives and, does all that buck dancing or whatever. But when it comes to football, we just talk about the game. That's it. That's literally it. That's literally it. Now, I think someone asked that did you hear about the Prairie View? Yeah, I talked about Bubba McDowell. Bubba McDowell, I think, could be a good coach at Prairie View. It's just not a sexy hire. I wanted something sexy. We're going through, and what I mean by sexy is like a big name that's going to get big results. Not just a big name, but a big name that's going to get big results. Hugh Jackson was a sexy hire. Big name. He's getting some big results out there on the recruiting trail. Deion Sanders was a sexy hire. He's a big name. He's out there getting big results. Now, Bubba McDowell isn't a big name, and he's been on the Prairie View staff, from what I understand, 10, 11 years. So he knows the intricacies of the program. He knows what the program needs to do. I hate it that if you're going to make an in-house hire too, by the way, this is the last time I say about Prairie View, I think. If you're going to make an in-house hire, why wait? Why did you wait a month after your coach left to make this hire? You know, from all the word on the street was everybody knew that the Prairie View coach was going to leave for Southern. And so if you knew your coach was leaving for Southern, hell, the YouTubers knew it. Me and some other guys on YouTube knew that was happening. If you knew he was leaving for Southern, why wait a month to hire a guy that's been on the staff the whole time? I didn't know. I didn't understand that. Hey, shout out to the frat. 06 to the good bros, by the way. 06 to the good bros. All the D9, I love all of y'all, but, you know, we big A over here. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, guys. We're in here really heavy. So let's continue to listen to Channing kind of backtrack on his apology during his new show called The Pivot Podcast.
Back it comparison.
No, the resources of it, Fred.
Back it out. Let's put it on a plate, right? We're talking about Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about Joe Schmo, Deion Sanders. We're not even talking about HBCUs.
And see, don't do it like that neither. See, don't say we're not even talking about HBCUs. I get it. Some things are specific to JSU. I get that. I would be naive to act like some things that are taking place in HBCU sports isn't super duper specific to only JSU. I would be naive if I just totally ignored that. That doesn't even make any sense. But we have to lift them all up. Was it what they always say? A rising tide lifts all boats. We have to lift them all up. So when we talk about these HBCU programs, we can't just stop at JSU. We can't. I love Jackson State. Jackson State fans give me the most views. But we can't just lead. You can't just put, we can put them on a pedestal to a certain extent because their coach is always going to do his thing. But we have to lift all of them up. Now, I get certain things are JSU specific. Travis Hunter was JSU specific. I don't think he goes to any other HBCU. I just don't. I know he doesn't. He doesn't go to Grambling or Prairie View or Mississippi Valley or Hampton or Howard. None of that. I understand that. Certain things are JSU specific. But we have to lift all of the boats. All of the boats. Let's continue listening.
We're talking about the influence of
prime time.
Absolutely.
Deion Sanders.
And that's the influence.
Think about the position. I think it's just a perfect alignment and timing with everything.
Yeah.
Look at the position Travis Hunter plays.
That's true.
Look at
that is true.
The coach he's looking to go and play for. Mm-hmm. Maybe one of the greatest, if not the greatest,
cornerback of all time.
Greatest corner of all time.
To ever play the game.
Do you have
So all of that is true. I kind of want to skip ahead a little bit.
Here, Florida State fires Norvell and offers Deion.
Deion ain't going there.
He's not going.
Deion is not going to limp his ass with that bad leg up on that thing. Y'all see him. Y'all see him.
Okay, so that's a question. That is a question for the chat. In the chat, you guys are in here heavy. You guys are really rocking with me today. Shout out to William Murphy, JSU, everybody, king of, what's it say? Bubba McDowell, not a sexy hire. Everyone can't be a personality. Deion is Bubba is an excellent player and will be a one. I'm not. See, here's the king. I want to address that really quick because I said I wasn't going to talk about Prairie View anymore, but we got to keep it with me. He's not a sexy hire because he's been there 11 years. He's not a sexy hire because it's not a part of kind of like this new wave that's going on, not only in the SWAC but across HBCUs. Now, I'm not saying Bubba McDowell can't be a great coach at Prairie View. I'm not saying that. But I've seen the product Prairie View has put out there on the field the last few years. They got the SWAC championship, but was it did we really think they would win? Did we really think Prairie View was going to win? And Bubba McDowell was on that staff. Now, Bubba McDowell, I talked about him being an all-pro corner. He's been a multiple-time Pro Bowl corner. He's a big-time player. He's literally made an all-pro team. Had 5 or 6 picks, a couple of pick sixes in 1 year for the Houston Oilers. but he's not a sexy hire. Like, I'm not afraid to continue to say that. That doesn't mean he can't outperform anything that I expect him to do and go out there and win a bunch of games and win swag championships. But is he a sexy hire? No. Is Eddie Robinson Jr. a sexy hire at Alabama State? No. A sexy hire is like an Ed Reed. A sexy hire would have been like a Marshall Faulk. A sexy hire would have been like, a Ray Lewis. So, do I think he can have success? Absolutely. But is he a sexy hire? Someone that's been on the staff for 11 years? No, he's not. I mean, it's just the truth. Let's see, what else? You guys are coming in. You're coming in with great comments. Channing Crowder had to deal with his wife, who was at Howard. See, so that is what makes the Channing thing interesting. So Channing's wife is a Howard grad. Yes, Joseph, you're right. But see, Channing, that doesn't matter. And Channing, because his wife's a Howard grad, he spoke about this on another episode of I Am Athlete way back. Because his wife is a Howard grad, he has a lot of Howard friends. Like, she has a lot of friends from college or whatever. And he has to, but he says these same things to them. And the thing is, I think Channing wants to support the HBCUs. He just has to see it to believe it. He's one of those guys that because it's never been done before, it almost like he doesn't believe it's going to happen. And in the back of his mind, whether he thinks Prime can be great at Jackson State or not, or the SWAC can continue to come up and get more guys drafted and send more guys to the pros and send more guys to be better men in the community and better citizens to the world, he thinks Deion Sanders is going to leave. Like, he in the back of his mind, he thinks Prime is going to leave. He, honest to God, and we heard it in that clip a little bit. I'm going to rewind it and play it again. Honest to God, Channing thinks Deion's going to be, this time next year, he thinks I'm going to be talking about Deion Sanders being named the head coach of Florida State. Like, he really, because Norvell's, he's stinking up the joint down there in Tallahassee, like, he's stinking up the joint. They're 8-13. It was an easy decision for Travis to choose Jackson State, 11-2 over Norvell and Florida State, who's stinking up the joint 8-13. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Jackson State too. He thinks, and then they gave Norvell a contract extension, but he believes Norvell's going to get fired soon, and Deion, like he said, is going to, with his bad foot, limp over there to Tallahassee and take the job at Florida State. I'm more along the lines with Ryan and Fred. They say, hell no, I don't think he is. I don't think if Deion Sanders took a job next year at a Florida State or somewhere else in Power 5 and left Jackson State, that would be one of the biggest disappointments in the history of football. That would be one of the biggest disappointments in the history of football, because you can't say you're going to be the conduit of change. God called you to be there, etc., etc. Do all of that stuff and then leave after 2 years. Bail after 2 years, 3 seasons. You're going to bail after 2 years in a spring season? I would be highly disappointed. Let me run that clip. Let me rewind this back a bit and let you listen to Channing.
Than a HBCU.
Okay. Next year,
Listen.
Florida State fires Norvell and offers Deion.
Deion ain't going there.
He's not going.
I don't think he's going
He's
either.
not going to limp his ass with that bad leg up on that thing. Y'all seen him.
It
Y'all
can't still
seen
be
him
hurt.
school.
It can't still
He
be hurt
ain't
next
gonna
year.
school. So y'all are telling me if Florida State,
Deion
his
ain't
alma
going.
mater,
Deion is
offers
not.
him the head coaching job at Florida State,
I don't think he goes.
you think he stays at Jackson State?
The reason I
over
think
Florida State?
I do.
Your ass is
terrible.
crazy.
He said, your ass is crazy, bro. Well, let us be crazy then. Let us be crazy then, because I don't think he goes either. I don't think, what does he get out of going to Florida State? Besides saying, I get to go coach in my alma mater. Think about this, guys. Let's really think about this. Think about this. First of all, the greatest head coach in the history of Florida State is Bobby Bowden. Deion was recruited by Bobby Bowden. Deion loves Bobby Bowden. Gives him a lot of praise and all this stuff. There is nothing Deion can do at Florida State. He can win 10 national championships in a row. There is nothing that he can do at Florida State that will be a greater accomplishment than anything he's doing at Jackson State. He can win 10 national championships, produce 15 Heisman Trophy winners, have 50 guys go in the first round. There is absolutely nothing he can do at Florida State that will outdo all these great things he's doing, not only for Jackson State, but for HBCU football. There's nothing. The impact that he is leaving, the legacy that he is creating. There's nothing. He can't top it. He can't even come remotely close. He can't even come remotely close. And let's not forget the fact that this is the same fan base when you flipped Travis Hunter was out there burning your shit. They was burning jerseys and memorabilia. You were arguably the greatest player to ever come through the program, and they're burning your jersey because a player decided to go team up with you instead of their school. And that's the school you want to leave Jackson State for? Jackson State damn near about to build a Deion statue. And you going to leave them to go to Florida State? Now, Deion will probably never be W.C. Gordon at Jackson State. He probably won't coach 4 Hall of Famers like W.C. Gordon did. But he can make a lasting impact. In the 21st, in the 21st century, he can make an impact that nobody saw coming. He can make the biggest impact in HBCU sports, which he is currently doing, the biggest impact in HBCU sports since segregation. Like, you can do that. You can do that. That's exactly what he's doing right now. But you'll never be loved at Florida State like they loving you at Jackson State. They just proved it with Travis Hunter. Deion could never be loved at Florida State the way they love him right now. Right now, with one SWAC title. One fall season, one spring season at Jackson State. They don't love him at Florida State like they do at Jackson State right now. And he's the greatest player to ever play in their program. They burned his shit when Travis decided to go to Jackson State. Like, come on. Like, come on. Like, come on, y'all. Like, I think somebody needs to say this to Channing. Somebody needs to get that through Channing's skull. Let's continue listening. Hit the thumbs up button, guys. You guys are coming with some great comments. I'm gonna pull some of them later, but continue to hit the thumbs up button.
When you get a guy, when you get a guy like Travis Hunter, when you get a guy like Travis Hunter to come, like so my bigger.
This is Ryan Clark speaking, by the way.
We're talking about Jackson State in prime time. We're not actually talking about HBCUs, right? Because that kid ain't gonna go to Southern. I live in Baton Rouge.
And that's the thing. So Ryan's critical, and that's what I said. Certain things are Jackson State specific. Certain things are Jackson State specific, like all the cameras and all the Barstool stuff and all the documentaries and stuff. That's Jackson State specific. I'm like, I get that. But because Deion, Coach Prime, went to Jackson State, that's why you see an Eddie George at Tennessee State. That's why you see a Hugh Jackson at Grambling State. That's why you see other SWAC teams, whether it's FAMU, whatever, step up the recruiting game. They're going after 5 stars, 4 stars, whether it's via the transfer portal or straight out of high school. That's why you see that now. You weren't seeing that before Coach Prime. The level of competition, the level of everybody's awareness, the level, the aggressiveness of these coaches when it comes to these prospects, whether via the transfer portal or high school, has all been raised because of Deion Sanders. Yes, we're talking about Travis Hunter and Coach Prime at Jackson State in this specific incident, but everything has been raised because of Deion Sanders. So that's what we have to say. It says they showed the ultimate disrespect. Yeah, FSU don't love him no more. FSU's love for Deion Sanders is wishy-washy. It comes and it goes. They loved him when he was getting them recruits. It goes when he's not getting them recruits and when he's taking recruits from them. It's fair weather love. You don't get that fair weather love at Jackson State. I want to leave King because King's been good in here. Says, I hear you, but sometimes you need substance over those names. I like that. I'm a Grambling alum and happy they didn't hire Marshall or Ed. I came on this broadcast and talked about how I wanted them to get Ed Reed bad. I wasn't mad at the Hugh Jackson hire. I was not mad at the Hugh Jackson hire at all because if he's going to be a second place, then that's a damn good second place. But man, oh man, I would love to have Ed Reed at one of these HBCUs, whether it was Grambling, Southern had an opening, Prairie View had an opening. I think we're going to get Ed Reed at one of these schools. And I get what you're saying, the substance, but what makes you think Marshall Faulk or Ed Reed don't bring substance? Or Ray Lewis? What makes you think they don't bring substance? Because they haven't been head coaches before? Well, Deion Sanders hadn't been a head coach before, and his substance was pretty good. They went 11-2 and won the SWAC East and the SWAC championship in his first fall season. And then all they did was go out and get the number one player in all of high school football. So I don't know if they don't have substance, King. I think they could definitely have some substance, man. I would really love to see one of them one of them going. Somebody says Channing's a tap dancer. That's pretty funny. I don't know Channing. I don't know. See, I'm not gonna go as far to call Channing a tap dancer. I just think Channing's brainwashed. A lot of us in all walks of life, black people, us being black people, have been brainwashed to think white is right and white is better. And so Channing is kind of, and when it comes to this, I don't know about his livelihood, like during his daily life. And I love Channing. That's why I listen. That's why I know what the man says, because I love listening to him talk. But in this topic specific, he's still kind of brainwashed into thinking that, over here is better. The people that look like me and you aren't going to do just as good as for him as the people that look like George Bush or Betty White. It was the two first white people I thought that came to my brain. R.I.P. Betty White. Well, a lot of people were doing all that R.I.P. Betty White, and they think, Betty White is better than someone like Cicely Tyson. I didn't see the same love when Cicely Tyson died. I didn't see black people give her the same love they gave Betty White. But that, that's just neither here nor there. Let's continue listening, because I really like this conversation they're having.
He ain't gonna go to Southern. He's going there.
Hugh Jackson's at Grambling.
Yes, he is.
That's still not Deion.
Eddie George is at Tennessee
and
State.
that's still not Deion.
They're not.
There's no knock on them.
No knock on them.
But
They're not
Prime
in Aflac
has so
commercial.
much more influence.
Yes.
Deion he's cut from an entire different cloth.
And that's true. He does have a different influence than them, but every kid, every prospect, every really good football player, all of them ain't gonna want to play for Coach Prime. All of them ain't gonna want to play for Deion. Some of them are going to want to go play for Eddie George, and that's great. Some of them are going to want to go play for Bubba McDowell and over at Prairie View, and that's great. Some of them are going to want to go play for, different coaches, and that's awesome. But I think all of that is better than going to play for Billy Napier at Florida. But that's just me. That's just me. Let's continue listening.
Then so many of these other coaches, when you look into it, they looked at Deion. They see the cameras following, but that's always been Prime.
Mm-hmm.
He's always
Let's skip a little bit of this.
We don't like our people into the fold, right? And they're supporting it.
It's about the culture.
And he's not losing.
Yeah.
He's doing it in great fashion.
Yeah.
And the kids see that. They see he's having fun. He's transparent. He's able to go. What's college football all about? Recruiting, right?
Yeah.
He's able to go into any household and talk, verbatim to any family. That's what families respect. That's what they want. That's what they need.
And it's not just Deion who can do that. All of these guys can do that. Bubba McDowell can do that. Hugh Jackson can do that. Eddie George can do that. Dooley can do that. Odoms can do that. Like, all of these guys can do that. Whereas a guy at Oklahoma, Brent Venables, you know what I'm saying? Brent Venables can tell you about all the players that he's recruited and all the guys that done great that played up under him. But he didn't come from the same place that you came from. He's not cut from the same cloth that you are cut from. He didn't grow up the way that you grew up. These HBCU coaches did. Now, that running back coach over at Florida or over there at LSU or, that receiver coach, because typically these guys are former players or whoever. DeMarco Murray is like the running backs coach at Oklahoma. They can tell you that. And that's why they do most of the recruiting. See, if for those of you that don't know how recruiting works, typically at the Power 5 level, recruiting is done by the assistants. And by assistants, I mean typically the position coaches. The receiver coaches go recruit the receivers and sometimes the DBs. The DB coaches go recruits the DBs and the receivers sometimes. The running back coaches go recruit the running backs. And then the offensive coordinator, whoever, may recruit the quarterback. But a lot of those position coaches, not necessarily like offensive defense coordinators, ain't a whole lot of them. But at the Power 5 level, the running backs coaches, the wide receiver coaches, the DB coaches, they're typically the best recruiters. And what do they look like? They look more like the players than the head coach. So they do all, the jaw jacking, all the lip service, all the talking, all the sweet talking, the sweet sounds of Magoon to the moms and to the sisters and to the, brothers, cousins, aunties, uncles, and to the players. And then the big dog, the Nick Sabans, the Brian Kellys, the Urban Myers or whoever. Then they come and boom, knock it out the park at the very end. But all the hard work is done by the guys who actually played. Typically, I'm gonna say typically, all the hard work is done by the position coaches. Because they're the ones, typically the position coaches are the ones that played college ball. A lot of them played at the NFL or the CFL levels or whatever. A lot of them came from the slums like a lot of these players. A lot of them grew up poor, grew up broke or whatever. And so they do all the heavy lifting, and then the head coach comes and knocks it out the park at the very end. But see, the unique experience about an HBCU is that a lot of these coaches, whether it's on Deion's staff or Hugh Jackson's staff or Eddie George's staff or whoever, they grew up just like the players. Dennis Sturman played in the league. He's the defense coordinator at Jackson State. He played in the league. He grew up just like any kind of kid they're recruiting. He coached in the league. Deion Sanders came from Fort Myers, Florida. Talks about all the time how broke he was. So they relate more. Bubba McDowell, I don't know his background, but I'm sure he came up similar. He played in the NFL, all pro corner. So they can relate more. And then you go into an environment and a culture that's just like your culture. Just like what you would see at home. See, a lot of these kids that go to Alabama or Florida State or whatever, they have like their home life, what they do and how they live and how everything looks at home. And then they have campus life. A lot of college students, if you've been to college, you understand this. It's like your home life and then campus life. Well, at an HBCU, at Jackson State or Grambling or whatever, that campus life and home life is like one and the same. It's like one and the same. You hanging out with people that look like your homeboys back at home. You got coaches that look like your uncle and them back at home. So there's the big difference. So that's why when they're like, oh, but Deion only can do this kind of stuff. No, I disagree with that. I think Deion's just putting the light, like he said, shining the spotlight on these things that have been like this for years, for decades. For decades, a lot of this stuff's been like this. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, guys. Let's continue to listen.
Especially from our demographic. So I think when you look at the evolution of HBCU and having the number one players, the top 5 stars, and Deion said he don't even care about a 5-star. He want a 3-star dog to come and play for him.
Stars matter, though. I understand Prime said that because guys do get their ratings bumped up, but stars do matter. Because if stars didn't matter, Alabama wouldn't be in the championship every year. Georgia wouldn't be in the college football playoff every year. Stars matter, by the way. And for those who don't understand that, we can have that discussion another day. But stars matter.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But against what you said, you have a number one player in the entire country that said, you know what? I believe in him. I believe in everything that he said. I love his message. But here we are. Here we are. I don't think it's a one-shot pony.
Okay.
I think it's going to happen more. Nope.
Fred,
Listen.
that's the
listen
Chicken
to-
Little.
Oh, see, here go Channing. Hold on, I gotta show you guys this. I gotta show y'all because here go Channing. He can't just let it live, man. He can't just let it live, dog. He can't just let it live.
Listen to me.
That's the Chicken
It's
Little.
not Chicken Little.
That's the left, right,
It's
left,
gonna happen.
right. Oh, let
Okay,
me
Chad,
run.
What he's
so
no,
right now-
Ryan,
Fum,
listen.
fum, fum,
He
fum.
doesn't understand the power.
He doesn't.
Of the
what?
power of social media.
So check.
The
Right.
power
That's
of
what
social
these- that's
media.
what these-
Damn the power of social media. Fred's wrong on this too. Damn the power of social media. They don't understand because they haven't been to a game. Travis went there because he went to a game. And because the people like you that is in this chat right now was cheering his name. And cheering the names of Shador and Shiloh and Warren Newman and Keith Corbin and James Houston and was going crazy. And he seen folks in there diddy bopping and hitting a Harlem Shake and hitting a Dougie and doing stuff that they do at home. You know, when you go to these PWI stuff, they're playing AC/DC and the Rolling Stones and the Beatles and all that stuff during the game. When you go to a Jackson State game, they playing Lil Baby, they playing Da Baby and Migos and ESTG and all this stuff that you listen to at home. You got to go to you got to experience it, and you can tell Channing's never experienced it before. Even albeit his woman is a Howard grad, he hasn't experienced it. Damn social media. Social media is a factor, like a very minor factor. Damn social media. It's the culture. It's the love. It's the support. It's the what you get when you get that feeling. It's a feeling that's unexplainable when you go there. Damn social media. Damn that. It ain't no damn social media. It's the fact that Travis Hunter went to a game and seen 50,000 people that look just like him, that act just like him, that talk just like him, and that's gonna love him to the day he dies. Jackson State people in the chat, Jackson State people, or HBCU people in the chat. Let me know you in the chat. Don't you guys love your heroes to the day they die? To the day they die. Grambling folks still talking about Doug Williams. Doug Williams went to Grambling in the 70s. Grambling folks love Eddie Robinson. Eddie Robinson coached decades ago. But he will forever be the greatest coach and forever get love. W.C. Gordon, Jackson State people, they love him forever. They still honor him with the red and all that stuff. Dr. Doom, like, come on, bro. It ain't just about no damn social media. It's about the community. It's about the culture. It's about the experience. Damn social media. Like, damn that. These people was loving the Jackson State, the HBCU heroes way before social media. Come on. Like, nah, damn no social media. Damn that. Yeah.
The question is this. So your answer is this.
Let's listen to Ryan.
You ended like this right here. Is Travis Hunter the last one?
No.
No, he won't be. I can answer that. Hell no, he won't be the last one. Hell, they might get another one in the next month. But the signing days in February, Jackson State could pull another one in the next month. So hell no, I can answer that.
No. Travis Hunter, I did.
You apologize to Deion?
I told Deion.
Yeah, he said sorry.
Okay, so here's the thing.
But he's not the last one. But is it well, let me retort.
Is your only problem that he's gonna leave?
RC, let me retort. Is there going to be a rush of these guys?
No.
Why not? Deion is so embracive. And I want Deion.
It's not going to be a rush because Rome wasn't built in a day. Like, Rome wasn't built in a day. Like it takes time. This stuff takes time. You got to think, when you're fighting an uphill battle and you have, in these institutions have a 50, 60 year head start, of course it's not going to be a rush. You're not going to see 55 star, 25 stars a year going to HBCUs. No, because a lot of them are brainwashed like Channing. It's going to take time. It is going to take time. But we ain't going backwards. We got one, but we ain't going backwards. That's the thing. Like it's going to take time. It's not going to be an influx. 5, 6, 10. It's gonna be one here, two there, one here, two there. But that builds those building blocks. That's why it's crucial for Coach Prime to stay. The longer he stays, the faster this thing gets built. Those things get built faster, way faster. But no, it takes time. Rome wasn't built in a day. Like, Florida didn't become Florida, the institution that it is after 1-2 years. It's gonna take some time. But I think it's coming. Do I think it's coming? An influx? Absolutely. I do. It's just going to take time. Walter Payton, they love Walter Payton like crazy. They don't say enough where Walter Payton. Now I think they do now that Deion's there at Jackson State. And I think it has to do a lot because RIP Walter Payton has passed. But I don't think people talked about enough, how much, Walter Payton, him going to Jackson State, the fact that Jackson State has 4 Pro Football Hall of Famers, Grambling has Pro Football Hall of Famers, South Carolina State has 4 Pro Football Hall of Famers. Like, I don't think they get spoken about enough. But, that's just me.
To do it. This is the thing that kills me about this argument, fellas. I want Howard and Hampton and FAMU and all these motherfuckers to do something. But I cannot see.
It's not gonna happen. No,
I cannot see it because of the fact that the resources aren't there, and that's what I want to get out here.
And so you can't see it because you don't want to see it. You can't see it because you don't want to see it. Prime told you to your face, Channing, when he was an I Am Athlete. Like, it takes time. Once you get those dogs in there, the money comes. Like, the money comes. Once you get the dogs and you get the results, the money comes with the dogs. Only reason we give a damn about Alabama football is because they got a bunch of dogs on their team. And because they win a lot. And because they get a lot of media attention. And so therefore they get a lot of money. Whether it's from donors, whether it's from the college football playoff, the SEC, etc., etc. They get money from everywhere. Hand over fist. Money, money, money. But that's because they get the results and they get the dogs and they have the proper leader. That's what's taking place at HBCU institutions right now. That is exactly what is taking place with institutions right now. I'm going to look at some of the comments, then I'm going to get out of here. You guys have been rocking with me over an hour, but I'm going to look at some of these comments. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let's see. Channing is a good dude. He's just like many athletes. He's a little brainwashed. Channing is a conscious. I agree with you. Channing is a really dope dude. He has really great opinions. He's just brainwashed. Like I said, a lot of black folks are just kind of brainwashed. We are our own worst enemy in a lot of cases. And in this case, Channing is. He's because he keeps saying I want to, but you have to be part of the solution, not the problem. You have to, because the more you talk down on them, it's like, I want them to do it, but I don't think they will. Then that doesn't help anything. You're becoming, because now you're talking to some young recruit or whoever, and he's here and he's like, well, Channing Crowder don't think they're going to do it, so why the hell would I want to be a part of the solution and I'm going to just add to the problem? No, be a part of the solution. Dogs equal dollars. Absolutely on blast. Dogs equal dollars. We need to put that on a shirt or something. Dogs equal dollars. Because with dogs come media, and with media comes money, and with dogs comes wins, and with wins come media, and with media comes the money. Dogs equal dollars. We got to stop the self-hate. Absolutely. We do. We definitely have to stop the self-hate. Let me get to some of these other they are our heroes and trailblazers. Absolutely. You talking about those HBCU guys. They are the trailblazers. And if it wasn't for, integration, a lot of these guys who went to PWIs would have went to your Grambling States. They would have went to your Jackson States. They would have went to Mississippi Valley. They would have went to Howard, Hampton, Coppin State, Morgan State, Kentucky State, whatever. They went to all these different places. Let's see. Let me read some of your comments. It says Channing Crowder seems like he's biracial. You can say something is missing. There's a disconnect there. I don't know if Channing's biracial or not. He might be. I don't know. But part of it is because he's been brainwashed. He had his experience, and that's the thing. You also have to know Channing's background too. Channing he wasn't that great of a player in the NFL, but Channing was an All-American at Florida. Like, Channing was a second-round pick in the NFL draft. Channing had a great time at Florida because he was a really good football player. And when you're a really good football player at the University of Florida, they take care of you, especially during the Urban Meyer period. They took good care of those players down in Florida and let them get away with a whole lot. So his experience at the University of Florida was really, really good. And that's why he caped so hard for those PWI institutions, because he believes, talking to guys in the NFL and stuff, their experience at their PWI, Florida State, Florida, whatever, was just as good as his. And so that's why he caped so hard for them. And he can't see, the forest from the trees as far as HBCUs and what's taking place there. Let me see some of your let's look at some of your comments. It says Ed Reed and Marshall has substance and will bring resources. Bingo, bing, 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 bong. Resources, exactly. That's what HBCUs needs. It's no brainer. Great coaching is cool, but if the coaches can't bring resources, it's irrelevant and the same old crap. Antoine, I wish I could. This is my virtual high five, because that is right on the money. Absolutely. The number one thing Deion Sanders did for Jackson State, it wasn't the fact that he was just this all-world coach. Hell, in the Celebration Bowl, we saw him get out coach. But it's the fact that he brought the resources. As soon as he touched down in Jackson, they got a new football field. They got a new practice field. They got new jerseys. They switched over to Under Armour. They got a Pepsi deal. They got a better cafeteria. All of these things. That matters. That matters. And that helps. And it only gets better when you do all of those things and you're unproven. He did all that stuff. He hadn't even coached a game yet. Now that he's coached the game, he won 11-2 and won a SWAC East and a SWAC championship and an appearance in the Celebration Bowl. Now you're going to get more money. Now you're going to get more dogs. And as we already stated earlier on Blast Told Us, dogs equal dollars. So absolutely. Antoine, I agree with you 100%. Not saying he's not a good dude. I'm a former PWI athlete. You have to know the culture and played a huge part in my comfort. Yeah, no, I agree with you. That's why I said, like, Channing, because he had such a good time at University of Florida, he's going to cape for them. He's going to cape for them, but super hard. I think until he gets a chance to go experience, and even after he experiences a Jackson State or a Grambling or whatever, he probably still going to cape for Florida because of his personal experience. But what he went through ain't what every guy that goes to Florida goes through. Ask a recent Florida guy, James Houston. Ask James Houston how he felt about going to Jackson State coming from the University of Florida. Ask him. Ask him. Look at his social media. He talks about the experience he had at Jackson State versus Florida all the time. How much better it was at Jackson State. He talks about that. Now, he knows the differences in facilities and all that stuff, but the experience, the culture, the fun that he had, it's night and day. It's night and day. Channing was that slave who was afraid to leave the plantation. He lacks vision because he's afraid. So there's a lot of truth to that. There's a lot of truth to that. Let me get to a few more of these comments, then I got to get out of here, guys. But thank you so much for rocking with me. Thank you guys so much. It says William Humphrey, JSU's America's HBCU. I love that. Oh, they might be. Just watch the cameras. They follow the players, bro. More HBCUs get them more money. Yeah, nah. Dogs equal dollars. And when you can go out and get a dog like Travis Hunter, I said this earlier in the broadcast. I'll say it again. Jackson State in the 2022 season will be the most covered HBCU program we've ever seen before, period. More YouTubers like myself will pop up, more independent blogs, more national attention from ESPN, Fox Sports, FS1, TMZ Sports, whoever. They're going to be the most talked about, most covered HBCU program we've ever seen, period. Period. I ain't saying they're the most talented. I ain't saying they're the best coached. I ain't saying none of that stuff. But in the age of social media, in the age of 24/7 news cycles and 24/7 sports cycles, they're gonna be the most covered HBCU program, football, basketball, track, whatever program ever. Period. 2022 Jackson State Tigers will be, and it won't be close. Jerry Rice is trying to get a new stadium built over Mississippi Valley State. Please donate to the cause. Give whatever you can. Conscious, put the link or something in there. We'll try to promote this because I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't know this was going on. I'd love to talk to somebody about it, but Conscious, yeah, drop a link or something. We'll make sure to promote the hell out of this. It says Lillian, I live in Houston, Texas. JSU has fan and alumni chapter here. JSU has an alumni chapter everywhere, it seems like. I know they got one in Memphis. I know they got one in Atlanta. Apparently they got one in Houston as well. JSU, yo, everywhere, man. That's crazy. I don't think he wants to visit an HBCU. I think he will. They alluded to it at the end of the, I didn't play it, but they alluded to basically taking a tour of someone's HBCU. They alluded to, I left it alone. I didn't run that clip, but I think they will. I think he actually will. And I think there's a slight possibility his mind might change a little bit. So we'll see. It says they do bring substance, but Deion is a monster with the gift of gab. The only guy I can see competing with him on the recruiting trail is Ray Lewis. No, I think Hugh, Willie Simmons, Hugh. Now, obviously, Deion do got that mouthpiece, and Deion has got the experience as far as like playing at the next level, at the highest level. But don't sleep on Hugh. Don't sleep on Willie Simmons. Don't sleep on Connell Mayers over there at Alabama A&M. Don't sleep on him, man. Some of these coaches, they ain't prime. But they can get out there and go get them some dogs. Don't sleep on Buddy Pugh neither. Buddy Pugh got the most NFL players out of all the HBCUs right now. Buddy Pugh, including all-pro Darius Leonard. Don't sleep on Buddy Pugh down there at South Carolina State, the Celebration Bowl champions. So, there's that. James Houston said it's nothing like playing in front. Come on. I mean, it's not even close. It's not even close. Let's see. Channing just doesn't want to rock the boat. His attitude is similar to why blacks don't support black businesses. There's a lot of truth to that. Like I said, a lot of us are our own worst enemies. In a lot of cases, we are our own worst enemies in a whole lot of cases. And Channing is kind of proving it. Let's see. They're already over now. He keeps talking. Let's see. Yeah, he keeps talking about the glitz and glamour. So he says he keeps talking about the facilities, but 8-time Mr. Olympian Ronnie Cohan trained at Metroflex Gym in Arlington, Texas with rusty weights and cobwebs in the corner. It doesn't matter. Absolutely. That's what Deion said. He said, Coach Prime on that episode, if you go back and watch that episode of House of Athlete, when he was on there, he said, Channing, guys like you basically that want the glitz and glamour, I don't want y'all at Jackson State anyway. I can go. Y'all need to go to Florida. But the guys that don't want all the glitz and glamour, that just want to work and be a dog and help us win, come to Jackson State. He gave the Suge Knight speech up there. It says, we need Deion Sanders. Why? Because he's not selfish with his name and his fame. Yes, he wants JSU to be the best, but he's always shouting for other HBCU. Absolutely. This is why Prime was needed. Drum Major, you're absolutely right. This is why Prime was needed. This is exactly why Prime was needed. You're absolutely right. See, Let's get a couple more of these and then get out of here. I keep saying that, but I love the comments. I love the interaction. I love what you guys are saying. Hugh Jackson is being underestimated. Yeah, don't sleep on Hugh. Plus, Hugh's got a Cali pipeline, Cali connection, which could be a game changer because there are some ballers out there in California. Even the ones that don't go to Power 5. There are some studs that come from the West Coast, and Hugh is building a little pipeline to the West Coast, to California. He's able to pull some more guys from LA, from California, from North California, and Southern Los Angeles, South Central, all that stuff. Don't sleep on Hugh, man. Marshall and Fred said they were going to Jackson game, I believe. Yeah, no, I think they will. I think they'll be at a Jackson State game. I almost can guarantee you will see Chad Ochocinco at a Grambling game because Chad Ochocinco and Hugh Jackson are pretty tight. Obviously Hugh Jackson coached in Cincinnati while Chad was there. Hugh Jackson's been on I Am Athlete. I can almost guarantee you will see Chad at a Grambling game this fall. I can almost guarantee it. All his kids go to Howard. This is Channing. All of Channing's kids go to Howard. Do they play ball? I'm not for sure. His comment was strictly football related, as wrong as it was. Yeah, no. I think, yeah, no. I know he's talking about football. I know he's talking strictly about football. But like you said, it's still very wrong. And I still think he's still very much brainwashed. Still very much brainwashed. It says the indoctrination is hard for some black people to shake. No, this is like Knight. You're absolutely right. It's very hard because you've been playing from last place for so long. And so now when you actually been, put to the front, it's just hard to see that you're actually like, yo, you can be just as good as them. Hell, you can damn being just as good. You can be better than them. And it's hard to like, whoa, I can be better than them. These folks have been better than me my whole life. They've been better than me as long as I can remember. It's like, no, you can be better than them. It's okay. It is okay. Let's see. I'm going to get a couple of more of these. Man, you guys are flooding the comments. Thank you guys so much. Let's see. I can't speak for players, but as a fan, nothing was more beautiful than seeing 60,000. Let me read that again. Shout out to Michael. Thank you, Michael. It says, I can't speak for the players, but as a fan, it was nothing more beautiful than seeing 60,000 black people in a place having a wonderful time, no fighting, etc. Man, I know that was a sight to see. I can't wait to get down to Jackson and see a game myself. Hugh recruited Carson Palmer. He was going to recruit like a mug at Grambling. Hugh is going to recruit. Chad loves FAMU. Chad does. He's from Florida, but he loves him some. Chad will be at the game in Miami, the Orange Blossom Classic. He's going to be at a couple of Grambling games, or at least one. I definitely think so. So does anyone think other 5 stars will flip this year? So Jackson State keeps saying that they got more in the tank. You got the guys from the pregame show that said there's more 5 stars coming to Jackson State. You got Coach Prime saying we ain't done after Travis. So, they keep saying they will. But we'll have to see. Chad will probably pull up to the Grambling. No, he probably will. He probably will. Women run the house. His wife went to Howard. I bet she had more to say on that note. So yeah, no. I definitely think so for sure. Can't compare Florida and Mississippi. As far as talent, now somebody let me know in my comments one day about all the guys Mississippi produced. So don't sleep on Mississippi. Somebody let me know in my comments about Mississippi's putting out a whole lot of good football recruits. So I ain't going to talk bad about Mississippi no more. Because when I was like, yeah, a bunch of players come from this place and this place. And I left Mississippi out. And they was like, man, hold on. Per capita, we send out a lot of good guys, and we at the top per capita. And I was like, oh, okay. They came with the stats and the facts. And I was like, yo, Mississippi got some ballers, so let me not sleep on the SIP. I'm not slipping on the SIP at all. I'm going to get a couple more. It said Florida had 381 NFL players, 2 Hall of Famers. Jackson State has 100 NFL players and 4 Hall of Famers. You have a point. Shout out to you, man. It says you have a 0.52 chance of being in the Hall of Fame if you go to Florida. You have at least a 4% chance. So that's a lot better chance of going to the Hall of Fame from Jackson State than you do from Florida. Hey, I don't make up the facts. The facts are what they are. I got to get out of here, guys, because you guys have been so amazing. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. We're going to do more lives like this all the time. Thank you guys for all tuning in. We're here really heavy. Hit the thumbs up button on your way out. And I thank you guys. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want to see some of my stuff on Instagram and Facebook, it is at JLightsy7. I have conversations on Instagram and Facebook as well. It's at JLightsy7 on both Instagram and Facebook. Thank you guys so much. Hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to my YouTube channel, the Black Boss channel. I will see you guys next time. Peace.